Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
apparently I didn't screw it up too bad.
Good. Cheers to that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was talking to some of my friends tonight, and I guess his wife got a Q10 or a Z10, a BlackBerry.
Holy fucking echo, Batman.
Who's echoing?
You.
How am I echoing?
I don't hear any echo.
It's probably John then.
It could be me. Hold on.
Is that any better? Maybe. Yeah. Although I suppose John can't hear us yet. Is that better, Matt?
Yes.
All right.
Much.
Much, much better. Technical issues aside, this is CouncilCast number 23 on September 10th. Well, we will. But in any case, like I was saying, I was at one of my buddy's places tonight. His wife got a Z10 BlackBerry, and I didn't even think they still sold those.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a great story.
What, don't you want a Z10?
No.
I don't know. I
Considering,
think I think it'll be interesting seeing where BlackBerry goes from here, but I don't know. If I had to guess, I'm going to say they're going to go private and just kind of focus on what they do best, and that's corporate. I mean, that's where their money is at right now. I don't know about this. I don't know. They can't compete.
consumerization.
Yeah, they can't compete with Google and Apple. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Well, to be fair, BlackBerry never really ever positioned it to compete with in the consumer market space anyway. They just had a popular smartphone device, and they just said, "Oh, hey, if we open this up to non-businesses, well, you can make a shit ton more money."
And I think for a while they probably did.
Until they didn't change anything.
Well, I mean, but now they need to refocus on what it is that they do, and they do business phones. And,
Isn't that what they were supposed to be doing for like the last 2 years?
well, we'll see where this goes.
Isn't that why they canned Ball Silly?
Yeah, well, nothing moves fast, so.
Well, I personally think that it was a huge, like, they're going to tank pretty soon here. I mean, I've been doing a lot of market analysis and, punching the numbers. Mostly I've just been playing Tetris on my iPhone.
Right.
But the real thing here is my dad's company, we'll leave it unnamed right now. They're the least flexible when it comes to technology. They won't. It's a corporation, so they have the headquarters and then they have the little satellites all around the country. We'll just say it like that. They each individually are not allowed to have a Facebook or a Twitter because information could be leaked somehow on them. When like the marketing department needs to use it to promote the business, and so they're afraid of that. They're afraid to allow anyone like have IT actually on at any of the places. They're like, no, we'll do IT only from headquarters because that's the most efficient and safest way to keep our information really, really secure. And they're idiots. They gave my dad an iPhone over his BlackBerry just recently. So if they've caught on, I think it's not long before other businesses catch on. That they don't have to go with BlackBerry.
I think that seems to be the general consensus with everybody, especially with bring your own device nowadays. Whether they're giving you an iPhone or you're bringing an iPhone, the question isn't who's providing it, it's that you have an iPhone.
Yep.
It's no longer BlackBerry. And I think what, John, you were alluding to earlier was BlackBerry's looking to sell themselves, or at least sell off part of their business.
Yes. I think they are, at the very least, looking to get out of the public limelight that they're in right now, and I think that'll help them a lot. I mean, I don't know. I was just looking at their stock. I mean, it's not terrible. It's been holding pretty steady over the last year. It went up a little bit, it went down a little bit, but it's been pretty much on par with everybody else. So
How have they not just tanked?
Because
Why
they have
don't
a
they?
shit ton of cash.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a shit ton of cash, and they've got some big clients out there. I mean, the Department of Defense uses BlackBerry.
That was
And I
going to be my
think-
question, was whether they had huge government clients they're never going to let go.
Well, and I think there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of folks want to switch to the iPhone, but I think that's being more driven by the actual users than the companies themselves.
Right.
And I think the problem is you get people who are high enough up in the company that go, ooh, I want a new iPhone because it's an iPhone. And it's
I don't know
cool,
any
even though-
system administrators of any corporate networks that want to use an iPhone.
Yeah,
That's the
nobody
problem.
wants to use an iPhone because they don't
That's
have any
the problem.
control.
That's the problem, though, is the sysadmins, the people who know what they're doing, are saying no, but the people who actually make the decisions with the money are saying yes.
I want to play Candy Crush, motherfucker!
What?
Yeah, Candy Crush. Got it.
John got it. Is that even a platform that Candy Crush is on? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
So
Did you see
is
the new
there-
blingy ones with the gold?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
So the iPhone, as Matt is alluding to, Segway, awesome. That was one of my best ones. Is
One of your
that
best segues was me saying, hell yeah. That's pretty bad.
I never said I was good at them. But Apple had their big iPhone announcement today, and with it came, I guess, really nothing exciting, I would say.
Go figure.
Kind of the same thing that happened last year when they announced the iPhone 5 is that everything had already been leaked prior to the actual announcement coming out, and now we've pretty much had the exact same thing, and in my opinion, there is not that new thing that is making me really want to have an iPhone.
But don't they have a new platform? Are they going to update? Isn't there supposed to be an update to the platform that's going to make it look and feel a lot different as far as, or is that just a bunch of BS?
No, there is iOS 7, which has been out in beta form for a while now.
Here, let me give you a preview of iOS 7 right here. This happens to be a Windows 8 or Windows Phone device.
I wish I could see your screen.
Yeah, see, all they're going to do is they're going to maybe change the icons to have square corners instead of rounded corners.
So
Why is that the thing now?
the funny thing is that iOS 7,
I blame Minecraft.
it is a
I love Minecraft.
So iOS 7 basically took iOS and they took a giant hammer to it and said, all right, we hate you being shiny and we flattened you out. But
So
behind
exactly
the scenes,
what I just said. Square
Yeah.
corners.
exactly. So they don't have rounded corners. They don't have any shininess. It's all flat. It's all very basic. It's all white, colored icons on white backgrounds.
Oh, Windows 8.
Yeah. So when Microsoft got slammed for going with a flat design on Windows 8, why can Apple get away with it?
Because it's Apple, and they've got
Apple.
the followers, you know?
I think you mean the followers.
You love that too. So, it's just... Yeah, exactly.
Sorry,
They
what,
got,
guys?
Oh, wait, I don't have an iPhone.
What's
Oh,
that?
we doing product placement? Ah. Damn it!
That's
There
the
doesn't
worst
say Nokia
product
anywhere on the
placement ever.
back.
Here, product placement. HTC.
There it is.
There's
I
a
don't know if you can
sticker
read it.
over my label.
Oh my god, I'm,
That's
I'm
unfortunate.
reflecting John back at himself.
That's a scary thought.
This is
It's too
disturbing.
shiny.
I think I'm done.
Uh,
So I guess
Verizon. Fuck you, Verizon.
in addition to iOS 7, there really wasn't any news in relation to it other than the release dates next. Shit, I don't have my calendar up anymore. The 18th, which is next week.
You have a calendar with
Um,
release dates for new products?
Yes. I
Wayne
marked
is
them off.
fucking hardcore about this shit, man.
That is awesome.
John today, not our John here, John Garling. After this, or after you left the chat, John, he goes, he just can't let it die. Talking about the podcast, and then we were
Me?
coming up with analogies.
Oh, this afternoon.
Yeah.
Figures.
And he said, you let him do it solo for three weeks and he'll let it die.
No, the podcast would just turn into a half-hour show instead of an hour.
Of what? You sitting there complaining that nobody's there?
Maybe.
God, where is everybody? They're being dicks.
I think he'd fake his way through the first one, but after that, yeah.
No, in addition to this, Apple also announced that iWork is going to now be free in their iOS 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Nice.
So
Fancy about that.
I was gonna say something that nobody uses or can get freeware somewhere else. Great.
exactly. So now if you have an iPhone, you can now open all of your documents on the iPhone and the iPhone only.
Yes.
Yes.
Just what I want.
And then I guess the other new thing. So Apple announced two new phones, not just one. They announced, as everybody had already known, the iPhone 5C, as in cheap piece of crap,
iPhone Lite.
Yeah.
and then the 5S, as in bigger pile of shit. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Vamping.
So in any case, the 5.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Google it.
Does it have anything to do with twerking?
It's a kind of plange.
What's a twerk and where do I get one?
That's pretty good. Just,
Yes. So anyway, the 5C is their lower end model, so explain this one to me. So every year Apple comes out with a new phone, right? Every year it's $200. When the new one comes out, they knock the old one down to $100.
No, dude, this is a math problem. Let me give you the word problem here.
This is not a math problem.
Every year Apple comes out with a new phone, and every year it's $200.
How much money have you wasted?
If Jerry is 24 years old, how much money has Jerry spent on Apple iPhone? John, you we got our own Wolfram Alpha going on.
So the basic word problem boils down to this. Apple ends up having 3 phones on sale, one for free, one for $100, and a brand new one for $200. So why did Apple get rid of the iPhone 5 but keep the 4S at free, which still has a 30-pin connector?
I don't know.
They had a shit ton of them left over.
Probably because no one bought them.
That's probably not a bad answer.
So the 5C that came out that they announced today is actually a direct replacement for the current iPhone 5. Which means that it's going to be the cheap option, which means, like I said, it comes out at $99.
Is there really a market for the C? I mean,
people who buy new iPhones are buying the new iPhone so that they can be like, look at me, I get the new iPhone.
Are
You
there
want the
people
piece
that
of
are
crap
gonna say,
iPhone.
I want to get the new iPhone, but I want the slightly shittier one. I don't imagine any Apple fans saying that.
I can see that's the problem though. Like when my mom went and got a new phone, we got her an iPhone because we knew it was going to be easy, but we didn't get the 4S because that was the new one when it was out. We just spent the $100 and got the 4 because she doesn't need it.
I suppose, yeah, to consumers that aren't all Apple this, Apple that.
But why do you come out with a brand new phone at that price range? That's the question. Because you can still buy if they had kept the 5, you could buy the 5 at $99 instead. Why come out with a brand new phone that not only is brand new, they didn't even reuse the chassis, it's a completely new chassis because it's now made of plastic. And the only thing I can think of, the only thing I want to know is how much that phone is going to retail for at full price. And then, are they actually is Apple shooting for the low-end market outside of the U.S.?
Yeah. They have to. They would have to if they're going to.
The only logical
If
reason.
they really want to take over the world as much as they say they do. they're going to have to make it more affordable because
I mean-
the majority of the world doesn't have very much money.
Let me first say, Apple's built their entire reputation on building overpriced crap.
Exactly.
And taking away user rights in the guise of usability and or ease of use and the overall aesthetics. But that being said, maybe they're aiming for the long game here. Maybe they're releasing a new phone at the cheaper price so that down the road when they release a new phone, they can have it at the $100 price mark and knock this one down to something even cheaper than that and start selling
Less
to the
than
Walmart
negative
crowd.
dollars.
I mean,
But they
or knock
already
it down
do
to
that.
50.
I mean, but that's what they already do. And I agree with you. Apple has always marketed themselves as the premium phone manufacturer, and that's why they can get away with charging exorbitant prices for their shit.
Well,
But
we also have to
This is a break saying that they're willing to make a cheap phone for people.
also add in the Steve Jobs factor, which is he's not there anymore.
So does that mean Apple's on the decline?
Let's ask Steve.
Um,
Steve, what the hell are we doing? No response.
No, yeah. Well, they're definitely in flux, and I think that we're definitely seeing them do this number, and we don't know. I don't. It depends on how long it is before they get somebody in there who has as much vision as Steve Jobs did. Whether or not they build crap or not, he built an empire. So.
Yep.
If I could
well.
build an empire off of building crap, I'd do it.
I mean, they haven't had a good idea since this thing came out. You know?
Right.
I don't know.
What'd you just hold up? I missed it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've got 2 of those, I'll have you know. They're amazing little machines.
So, in addition to the now cheaper iPhone 5C, Apple also has their 5S, which is, of course, the next upgrade to the 5. And is flashier. It now comes in fucking gold. Who the hell wants a gold iPhone?
Well, that's to break into the Asian markets, though. No, it is.
What?
That's not a joke, dude. I read
black
that
and white.
It's not is completely correct.
What?
Black and white are considered polar colors in a lot of Asian countries, and so they broke into gold, which is considered to be a very neutral color.
It's not
You
even
are
just
kidding me.
Asian markets. Middle Eastern markets, like the
same
Middle
way.
Eastern market is growing for custom PC sales. So Asus, instead of using like red and black on their boards now, they're using a gold and black because it's more appealing to that demographic.
Yep, Asia, Southwest Asia, that whole region.
So it sounds fucking crazy, but he's totally right.
So then why did they make the iPhone 5S gold, and why didn't they just say, well, screw it, we're only going to sell the 5C, which has a bunch of colors to those countries?
Because options.
Apple doesn't give
well,
options. That's Apple.
No, that's the thing though. They're
Wait.
still marketing themselves as the premium phone company in those countries. You know?
I just came up with it. They got rid of the 5 and have the 5C and the 5S because they're getting ready to do updates that they built the 5 and the 5 wasn't able to do it. Nice. I just thought of it.
That, who knows?
Could
They probably,
be.
I mean, the way they build their stuff, it's like it does this, and that's all that it does. So
It could be true. I mean, a couple of the new things. I mean, the 5C is almost exactly the same as the 5. I guess I didn't pay too much attention to it, but the 5S does have new hardware in it. It's got that new mobile chip for motion tracking.
which is very useful.
Is it?
So basically, take one of these, take out half of the hardware, mark the price up by about double, and throw on iOS and sell it.
Yeah, so they've added a new motion coprocessor, is what they're calling it, to enable better motion tracking, such as better accelerometer tracking, better compass tracking, better GPS tracking. I think it's kind of their goal to kind of get into that Fitbit and Fitbit Flex and the Nike Fuel Band market, but I'm not really sure how. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not really sure how that's going to play out yet. But then in addition to that, they added a fingerprint reader now to the home button.
Did I call it or what? Before
I don't
that
think you were the
announcement ever
first.
came out, Blaine was like, "Oh, there's supposedly a fingerprint reader on it," and I said, "Oh yeah, they're probably gonna use that shit for purchasing as one of the like main features. You can buy shit with this."
Except you can only buy shit in the iTunes store.
Do they not? Are they not gonna expose that as something that you can use in your apps that you make or something?
Not as of
yet.
right now.
Not right now. Right now, they've said that they have it completely closed off from third parties.
I guess that would pose a problem when you accidentally buy the I'm Rich app that costs $900.
So
You know that story?
what if someone made an app that as soon as you scanned your thumb, if you opened it up, you scanned your thumb, it immediately purchased $1,000 or something like that. But you can't close out of the app because you have to put your thumb on the home button. So you have to pay $1,000
through the
just to
App
close
Store
the app.
testing.
I mean,
You never know. Let's try it. Let's make one.
You do know that there was an app out there one time that it didn't do anything but cost like
Yep.
$1,000, right?
I think it was more than $1,000. It was whatever
a
the
lot of
maximum
money.
price you could
And
set
it sold
in the App
like
Store.
10 copies before Apple was like, "Yeah, we're shutting this bitch down."
I don't understand why. Why don't you just buy it?
Because people were like, "Oh, I didn't really believe it could cost that much." Oh, really?
You're an idiot!
So you just go around on the internet and click on things that say they cost $9,000 because you don't think it could be?
Oh my god, that house is no way, that's $1 million.
see, I typically do the exact opposite. Oh my god,
Right.
you're selling monitors for $2 on Newegg.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Capitalize
You buy
on somebody's
60 of those
mistake.
sons of bitches. Then you just hope one ships. It's like the day they were selling Dell monitors. This was back when I was in college. They were selling Dell monitors for $20 a piece. And I was like, "Holy shit, buy 5." Yeah, those didn't ever go out.
So I guess the fingerprint reader, it is built in. It can do a couple things. It's unlock your phone. So if you pick it up, you can put your thumb on there and it unlocks it, bypassing the lock screen.
Nice.
And then in addition, like I said, it also you can purchase stuff. It verifies your purchase inside the iTunes store, so you don't have to type in a password.
Yes, because fingerprint readers caught on so well when they started adding them to laptops.
Yeah.
Well, the only upside I see to that, because with my iPhone right now, like typing in the password while I'm driving is a little precarious. I don't text. I'm a person who doesn't text and drive, mostly because I don't think I'm very good at it. And I don't like typos. So I think that if I had that and I could just hold my thumb on there and say, "Boom, I'm in," then I wouldn't have to worry.
What else? What are you getting
crashing.
in though? What are you getting in for?
To call someone, so I can hold on the button, then talk to Siri, and then it's basically hands-free because I don't have to look at anything. So
let's see. My options are unlock with the password or go straight to the phone.
Options on what?
I feel like there's
Or
better
lock
ways to
screen.
do that than just the stupid. I don't know.
yeah, it's definitely gimmicky.
Yeah.
But if I already have an iPhone and it's going to do that, then I'm like, oh yay, that's something I could use.
Sure, but I'm not going to run out and buy an iPhone because it can do that. You know.
No, absolutely not.
Also, keep in mind, the NSA will now have the world's largest fingerprint database in the world after the
Who are we
iPhone.
kidding? They already do.
I don't care.
It'll
We
grow
were
even bigger.
discussing, actually, a friend and I were discussing this earlier on Facebook, because after the whole NSA we're tapping everything thing exploded all over the internet, there's been a super abundance of people using the buzzwords, like just typing pressure cooker when it doesn't really mean anything. And like, it makes me wonder how overloaded, if at all, their algorithms are like. Yeah. And he said, there's no way their algorithms are having trouble with it because at first it looks at your name and your name is Matt, and then it said pressure cooker, and they realized they don't care that Matt's talking about a pressure cooker. Now, if it said Ahmed and pressure cooker, they'd be all over that shit.
No, they realized they saw Matt and pressure cooker, and they're like, nah, he's just a white boy from Iowa. It's okay.
Now this conversation's fucking flagged. Great.
No comment.
Yeah.
We got some viewers then, right?
Oh, of course not.
Well, if it's been
It'll be in
flagged, that's all I'm saying.
I can see how the iPhone, I can see how the fingerprint reader could be useful. I think it's going to have to be perfect 100% of the time in order for it to catch on.
Well, it won't be.
I mean, the problem is I don't want to be sitting there. If it takes me more time to sit there and put my thumb on it and have it unlock than it is for me to either swipe it, because I'm one of the guys, I don't use a passcode on my screen because I find it annoying as shit. So if it takes me longer to put my thumb on it than it is for me just to slide it over or whatever it takes to unlock my phone, then it's worthless to me.
What if somebody steals your phone?
I don't care.
That's what remote wipe is for.
Yeah.
What if somebody steals your phone and texts your girlfriend, I hate you, I've always hated you, and other things of that nature?
Have good riddance to bad luck.
Let's just say if she leaves me after he sends that text, then it probably wasn't meant to be.
No to blame. I wish I had Rolling Rock.
I'm gonna go grab another. I'll be right back.
Son of a
That would be
bitch.
pretty awesome.
Are those transferable via HTTP?
No, they're only transferable via the NSA courier service.
You know what's going to make the iPhone awesome?
What's that?
When they invent teleportation with it so that you can just take a teleportation picture of it and then send somebody a beer.
That would
No.
be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Welcome to Star Trek.
Beam me up a beer, Scotty.
Working on it.
I don't know. I think. Oh, I guess one more question for you guys about the iPhone. So iOS 7, they made a big deal about the 5s, the 5S, and iOS 7 being 64-bit. Do you see any reason why that's an advantage on a mobile platform?
Gaming?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out all day because I'm like, what is the advantage to a 64-bit mobile OS? I mean, on the desktop side, it nets you the ability to access more RAM on your computer.
Not having to change. I don't know. Fuck, man.
The same advantage of a fingerprint reader. It's a gimmick.
I don't know. I'm curious what, if anything, it would have to do with making it easier for developers at all.
So to answer your question,
I don't
on
know.
that, so
I mean, most people now are developing on 64-bit machines. Does it matter?
right now,
64-bit now, it shouldn't.
well, it shouldn't matter because right now the processor is still 32-bit. The iOS 6 is 32-bit, and Xcode is in 32-bit. So I don't understand. I mean, you're actually going to cause more problems, I would think, trying to have developers compile for both.
But somebody might go out and buy a new iPhone because their old one's obsolete because
Oh
their
my
old
God,
one's 32-bit and
It
this
only
new
has
one's
32
64-bit.
bits.
And I know my computer is 64-bit, so I want my phone to be 64-bit too. I mean, my N64 was 64-bit, I think. So
No.
Obviously the same level.
I'm just going to go ahead and assume my N64 was 64-bit.
that might be the title.
So I'm just saying, it's people who don't understand. They're gonna go out and buy it because, man, this thing's got a bigger number. I mean, hell.
And it was.
So it's
The N64 was a 64-bit, 93.75 megahertz NEC VR 4300 CPU.
good for them. I'll drink to
Why
that.
the hell were they putting a 64-bit processor?
So they could call it N64.
Wait, I thought it was N64.
Nobody wanted the N32.
I thought it was 64-bit graphics, wasn't it? Or was that actually the processor?
The storage capacity was 64 megabytes.
Sweet. So
Yeah,
much
yeah.
storage.
I
So much
think
storage.
I think somebody should build a phone entirely around a single number. Let's say 64. It could have a screen that's 64 pixels by 64 pixels, and it'd be
Microsoft's
awesome.
going to release one, and it's going to be called The One.
Just divide everything by 64.
And you'll be able to do laser engravings on it, and I'll have Neo's face on the back.
I seriously hope that someone laser etches an Xbox One with Neo's face on it.
The One.
Well, I just got a bonus. I know what I'm doing with it.
So,
Oh, good! Matt's purchase of the week invoice just came through.
oh yeah, we haven't had a Matt's purchase of the week section in a while.
I
What
didn't
is
even
Matt
know this was a
buying
thing.
this week?
I haven't been here in a while.
Matt bought a fucking computer.
So Matt, tell us what happened to your computer.
It
What'd you do to it?
fried. The motherboard just died in it.
And you're replacing it with?
A new one.
Such a great description.
And you
Is
thought
it
my
64 bit? I hear that's all the rage.
Yeah, it's got 64 bits. But, oh, get this. Blaine informed me of this today. I didn't realize this. So, the processor I'm putting in it is a, what the fuck is it? A 4770?
4700K.
I'm putting a 4770K in it.
Yeah.
And for the flavors of Intel processors, there's the 4770K and there's the 4770. And when you decide which one you want, you have to say, do I care about overclocking or do I care about virtualization, VT-D or whatever the hell it is.
VTD, yeah.
So they're fucking removing VTD feature when you get the K version, which is like the primo processor of this group.
Yeah,
I don't
K is
understand.
the highest price.
I don't
one.
understand why because they have to be artificially limiting this, right?
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yep.
Then
Absolutely.
fuck them. That's so stupid. That's like the
What?
dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What?
Yes, John.
Does it come with a fingerprint reader?
If you get it real hot without the heatsink and put your thumb on it, I bet you'll leave a fucking thumbprint on it.
One time I was watching Futurama, and Bender figured out he could overclock himself, and then he kept adding more RAM and processing. Like, he just kept overclocking everything, and he eventually became an all-powerful being. So I think that them taking out the overclocking feature is just so that they don't have a
So they don't have a Bender situation on their hands?
they don't want a Bender situation on their hands. They're trying to nip that in the butt.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, that pissed me off because I didn't know that was a thing. But not that big a deal because it's got the same virtualization features that my current processor has. I don't have any problems now.
Yeah, really, I mean, it really doesn't make too much of a difference unless you are really doing heavy virtualization, which I don't imagine most consumer users would be doing anyway. So.
Here's a question for you. You guys probably already talked about this like in the last couple of weeks or months. Mac Pro, the new Mac Pro that looks like a giant can
Like
of
trash can.
Yeah.
It is a trash can. Just wait. Apple is going to come out on their next announcement, their Mac announcement, and they're going to come out with the Mac Pro. Because they haven't shipped them yet. They're going to say, just kidding, guys, it's a trash can. But it still costs $10,000.
And they'll probably get sales. There are people that would buy that.
And if you flip it upside down and put it over your phone, it could also be a Faraday cage.
It can also be a hat.
And probably a toaster with the way Macs run.
No. It has lots of
I
fans.
do like their MacBook Pros. I would take, and one of the new MacBook Airs. I like those too.
So, did you actually have a legitimate question about the Mac Pro?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. I was curious. Do you guys know how much it's going to cost?
we don't know yet.
No.
Is the answer?
Or what?
But
Okay, so
I would guess
I've
minimum
read
$5,000
I've
No.
read back
Are
and
you
forth.
kidding me?
minimum.
It should only be like 2,500.
You're so full of shit. The last Mac Pros were like 2,500-ish.
Yeah, but the last Mac Pro was usually off-the-shelf parts, and it did not look like a trash can.
Yeah.
I mean, the trash can
Who's
is
gonna pay
worth like
$5,000 for this thing?
nobody.
That's what I want to know.
I don't
Is
know.
it going to be? Is like the stuff that's because what I'm looking at is I have the Adobe Suite and InDesign and Photoshop work fine on my MacBook Pro, but when I get into Flash or if I'm using Adobe Premiere or what's the other one?
Clearly, you use it a lot.
I can't. I can't use it at all because when I start to use it, my computer slows down. I'm editing video in this and trying to do After Effects. That's what it is. I'm trying to add stuff so that like I don't know. I make the curtain behind me like flash into smoke or something, and trying to blend these fields. And when I do that, I'm editing video there. It slows down so much that it just says rendering the entire time I'm in the project, and I have to like manually scroll through to kind of get an idea of what's happening, and then I have to export it to watch what I've done before I can see what it looks like. It moves slowly, and I know that all I need is just a faster computer. But is this going to be worth my money to like keep me from buying another one for another 5 years or something, or is it gonna?
Short answer, no. Long answer, build a Hackintosh.
That is not the.
Although Hackintosh is a terrible idea.
It is a terrible idea.
But I'm just going to say hold off. Look at, let's say the last time Mac decided to do one of these goofy-looking computers, the Power Mac G4 Cube. That was
those things
such
are
a
awful.
great idea and turned out to go so well. How many of those
will.
do you see today? Like, they got rid of that like that because it.
I'm not sure what their intention is because the Mac Pros themselves were powerful machines. I'm not sure what their intention is with redesigning it into a fucking Rama cylinder.
I've heard that it's like the way I was reading it. It was supposed to be. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that says it all. As far as the power and stuff inside of it, I heard that it's supposed to be like 2 or 3 times what their standard Pro was doing.
Oh,
Yes,
probably,
it
because
should. It's got newer parts. in it.
It should be new stuff.
Yeah. I think
I just-
last I knew they were putting the newer processor in there, and they did have dedicated graphics in it. Granted, everything was soldered to the motherboard because it had to be in a cylinder shape. But the only interesting thing with the Mac Pro that I'm aware of is that because there's no room to expand inside of the case, they do or are offering expand or hoping that people are going to use the expandability through the Thunderbolt ports. Is my understanding.
Oh.
So if you
So
wanted to get a new graphics card, you'd have to get like a Thunderbolt dock, and then you could dock in a new graphics card, or you could dock in, I don't know, more hard drives or something like that. That would be
So what they're
alright.
doing is they're
I like the idea of being able to have a laptop that isn't over the top with some super NVIDIA mobile graphics solution in it, and having something like a Thunderbolt dock. So if you take your laptop to LAN parties and shit, you could say, all right, I have my desktop here with this graphics card in it. I'm just going to take the graphics card with me and plug the bitch in and play off of that. Like, that kind of stuff would be sweet.
Yeah, and in theory, that's what Thunderbolt is supposed to enable. But
What's
So
the
it's supposed to
throughput on a
be-
Thunderbolt connection?
go on, Silas.
Oh, I was saying, so it's supposed to, basically what they've done is what they're trying to do is set it up so that people like myself can go in and upgrade my computer when I don't think that the graphics card is powerful enough, or I don't have enough RAM, or I don't have enough this or enough that, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing once I open that up. I just know that I want it to be faster.
I think so.
Okay.
And of course, you're going to go to the Apple Store to buy all of your components, which are going to be overpriced by at least 100 times.
Mhm.
And
No
you're
way.
Gonna,
100
And you're-
times.
minimum.
Thunderbolt bitrate is 10 gigabits per channel, 20 gigabits in total.
Correct.
The protocol is 4x PCI Express 2.0.
Sure.
They're using the PCI Express protocol?
Yes. Yes, they
What
are.
does that mean?
Huh.
It's
Is
using
it fast or not?
It should be fast. The problem is with Thunderbolt is you have to have drivers for all of your components. Plus, your cables aren't they still like $40 a pop for a
For
cable?
Thunderbolt cable?
Yeah.
How is it not just a regular DisplayPort cable? Isn't it the exact same connector?
Nope. It is, but the Thunderbolt cables have microprocessors in each end of the cable. That is how they are able to carry the information over copper.
Huh.
So they're able to Thunderbolt things.
My short answer still stands is that no, a new Mac Pro is probably not going to be what you want. And I think John's right. You should probably wait, see what's
Long
coming
answer.
out.
Get rid of Mac. Build yourself a computer for the same amount of money that will last you 10 years, because why not? And get Adobe for Windows. I mean,
Yeah. The only problem I see with that, the only problem that I have with that is that I have like at least at least whatever I'm going to spend on the actual program, on the new Windows program or whatever, the other computer that I could build for myself, whatever I'd want to call it, I'd call it a SciComm. I would in that I'd spend as much on a basic one of those as I would buying the new software for all the programs that I have. My recording, all my recording and
Right.
editing
What
and
are
video
you running on
stuff.
now?
But-
What kind of MacBook are you running on now?
Pro.
But
I'll give you
here's
the
the
what
thing.
version of Adobe are you running?
You could build a desktop and buy the
5.5.
software for less
So.
than a new Mac Pro.
But why is he building a desktop when he already owns all this Apple software? Why isn't he just buying something like an iMac? Is it the same hardware that's in a fucking MacBook Pro? I don't know.
Well,
Well, not quite. It's not nearly as fast.
Do the iMacs use mobile graphics solutions?
yes.
So they're the same. Are they better cards?
That's what I mean.
What
Generally,
the fuck, Anthony? You get the hell out of here. No, I don't think so. You don't get to play Payday and then just decide to show up. That's ridiculous.
Oh, hi, Anthony.
Oh, hi. I'm going to burn the house down when my new computer gets here.
I guess I don't know. I don't have a good solution, but like I was saying though, if you had a desktop, if you were planning on buying a Mac Pro though, you could probably build the desktop and the software for less than a new Mac Pro. I would.
But he's
I would-
already purchased the software.
Yes,
Well,
I realize
Adobe-
he's already purchased it, but you can still purchase new for a new operating system. Plus, they've got Adobe Cloud now.
Yeah, Adobe is going to this cloud thing, which is supposed to
Yeah.
be significantly cheaper.
Cheaper,
It's now a
and you get the
subscription.
updates all the time.
I don't know anything about that.
Marketing
That's,
scheme.
I mean, I'm eventually gonna have to do that anyway. But if I
yeah.
like I'm on a fixed income like an old man right now. So
Well, they're forcing everybody to update to this cloud thing, and I think it's a pain in the ass. I'll stick with CS4 for as long as I can, but that's
Yep.
just because I spent a ridiculous amount of money on the Master Collection, and fuck it, I don't have some new camera that requires the...
Right. So if you wanted to buy just a one computer for the new Adobe Cloud, you can get the full version of selected apps for $20 a month. Or you can get the full version of every app for $50 a month.
$50. $50 a month. It's like $600 a year.
How
which is
much
significantly
does a new
cheaper than buying a new CS every year.
Yep.
But
True?
Yep.
it's even cheaper than upgrading every other year, which is, I mean, what I was doing, so...
They knew people were doing that, so they said, "Well, we'll just get everyone to update every year."
You know, the The only
Yep.
thing I wonder is, if you have Creative Cloud, can you use that? Do you have to buy the one specific to your operating system, or do they allow you to download both the Mac and Windows version?
I think you can move it. My understanding is it's completely portable from machine to machine. So
So in theory, if you did want to go with the Creative Cloud, you could buy it now, use it as you wanted it now, and depending on what you did in the future, you could take it with you.
Huh. That'd be beneficial.
yeah.
6.
Yeah, that's how I feel
5.
about it. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of beers that look like tar.
That looks awesome. What is that?
Some Sam Adams Imperial Dark
Oh, that stuff's gross.
Scottish thing.
What do you have there, John?
Rogue Dead Guy.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty good.
Is that any good?
Rogue
love
is
it.
amazing, and I
How
love the Dead
how
Guy.
dead does it taste?
No, it's
Fresh.
actually really, really good.
I've never had it.
I mean, it's from
recommend it.
Oregon, but other than that,
What type of beer is it?
Pale ale.
yeah.
Should I go get some?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Anthony,
think so.
Rogue?
take me to Hy-Vee.
One of my friends really likes Rogue.
I'm a huge fan, and I got a bigger bottle.
They have, there's some like spice one that he really liked. I can't remember what it was.
If
was
you
like
get
a
further
Chipotle.
away from the camera, John, it makes it look like it's a normal-sized bottle.
It's true. Now there
There you go.
Oh,
shit,
there it is.
Rolling Rock bottle.
Something like that.
So,
That's what I just fucking poured out.
do you guys want to talk about the Chromecast at all, or does Silas have something?
I have one more question. We can bring this up at the end too. I just didn't want to forget it. Have we heard anything else about signing up for a mission to Mars?
That's a blast.
That's a good question. I don't even remember when we talked about that last.
Long time ago.
Like 5 months ago.
Silas was all about it, man.
What was the
I'm
question?
going to go to Mars. Remember when they had like submit your video and like do a song and dance for us, and we'll just send you to Mars.
That's almost exactly what
Pending
it was.
credit approval.
So, okay, here's I don't know. I don't remember when we talked about this last, but this is from May 7th of this year. And apparently this was 2 weeks into the 19-week application period, so we must be close to getting done. And apparently after 2 weeks, more than 78,000 people applied to it. And like you said, it's for a project or a mission to Mars in 2023 that you are signing up for a one-way mission. Go live on Mars for the rest of your life
That's a
after
lot.
you spend 10 years to getting there.
The rest of my life after 10 years after 2023. Wait, does your debt follow you there?
Yeah, you still pay tax.
Yes.
You kidding me?
You still pay taxes to the U.S. government.
I'm pretty sure if I live on Mars, my ass is gonna be tax exempt.
See, they're gonna pay you, but it's gonna be on Earth, and then they're gonna tax it. It's a higher rate because you get the Mars tax rate. They're gonna start that off right.
Oh, here we go. The total
What happens
they
to my
had
401k?
they had over 200,000 applicants from around the world,
Holy cow!
and they have to pare it down to like 40, I think.
They're probably just gonna throw darts at a board until they're down to like 100. I don't know. How
They
many
already
of
know-
those do you think are real applications?
40.
A lot of it.
Didn't you have to pay?
I
$10
think
bucks.
there was something. Yeah, you had to pay to get into it, which should deter people from making like 1,000 fake ones.
Hmm. Did you get your app in, Silas?
Not yet.
So
I just want to make sure I didn't miss the deadline.
I think you missed it.
Damn it.
It ended
Well,
August 31st.
there goes all of my dreams. All my hopes
Wow,
and
everything
dreams.
in one basket there, huh?
Yeah, well, it was Mars or broke.
Mars or bust.
Bust. That's probably why I didn't get in.
Now you can't even afford a new Mac Pro.
I can't afford a Mac Pro. I have to pay taxes, and I don't get to go to Mars. I'm just gonna go to bed.
So
Sure, there's a mothership behind the moon waiting to beam you up. You just have to
Nice.
drink the
If
Kool-Aid.
I were
So.
to go to Mars, do you think Valve would give me some special deal on a Steam library
probably
to take with
not.
me?
Not at all.
I'd get there, I'd be like, yeah, we're gonna put this bitch in offline mode, and when we get there, it's gonna work flawlessly. No!
And then you're gonna show up and there's gonna
Connect
be-
to go in offline mode. Oh, that's gonna be some bad latency. Play Counter-Strike with some poor assholes, and they're like, Jesus Christ, latency of 5 minutes. I don't know how far. What's the latency from here to Mars for a light signal?
6 minutes.
Oh, it was close.
You weren't expecting that, were ya?
Yeah, there'd be one dedicated server that I go on that people can come play with me because they don't want to leave me out.
It's gonna be the Mars server. The match is over. You get in, you fire one shot, and the match is over.
I'd host it, man. I'm not gonna let it be hosted on Earth. If anything, I'm getting the advantage. You better add a new drop-down value to your regional values.
Mars.
Where's your nearest Steam content server? Fucking Demos?
Australia. So, what was it? A few podcasts ago, podcast 20, I got a copyright claim on.
Oh yeah, what came of that?
I didn't do anything about it because, first of all, I didn't realize it for a couple weeks. Second of all, I just submitted a dispute on it tonight.
What was the? Do they tell you?
It's supposed
is?
to, but whatever it told me makes no sense.
Yeah,
So
well,
it
the NSA
said-
gets it wrong sometimes, so they are
It
watching a
says-
lot of things.
So it says it matched third-party content and said your video may include a song owned by a third party. And it says, here are the details, and it just says, quote, join the open discussion of hashtag child not bride, unquote, visual content administered by Channels TV Nigeria.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
So
Probably gonna get screwed by my posters. Really, that's.
you weren't even in
I
that
don't
one,
see
though.
why you would.
I listened through. I went through the whole podcast to make sure we didn't actually play any songs because Matt likes to do that sometimes. But there were none, and so I disputed the claim. They marked a point in the video where they was supposed to.
What was going on at that time?
Dave was talking about the nukes that North Korea bought.
The what?
The missiles, they weren't nukes, but they were bombs of some sort that North Korea bought and was trying to transport through the Panama Canal
Watch,
in exchange for rights.
it's
Kim
gonna be
Jong-un
Dave
was like,
that's
"This
filing the
bullshit."
complaint.
Kim Jong-un is filing copyright claims.
To be fair, though, Dave wasn't using his camera, though, so maybe they were copyright claims on the stock image.
Dave better be careful. Dennis Rodman's gonna come beat him down.
Oh.
So we'll see what comes about it. Maybe I'll know by next podcast.
I've had that before though on some of the videos that I posted to like some of my short videos that I've done, and it's all song that I wrote and recorded myself got played in this music video, and I tried to do put AdSense on it so I could make some money off of my own original work. And they said, sorry, you can't do that. You don't own the copyright to this song.
Who does?
And I said, yes, I do. And they said, you need to contact this person. I tried to dispute it, and they said, They said, nope, doesn't count. You don't own the copyright to this song. I was like, what song do you like? It was like they even had a name for the song. I'm like, that's not the name of the song at all.
Well, you see, did you read the terms of service? They own all content that you upload, so you actually gave it to them, and they're saying that it's theirs.
No. It's the worst.
Oh, wait, that's Facebook.
Actually, speaking of Facebook, did you hear that they're analyzing your profile pics?
Yeah.
My profile pic is a picture of Nedry from Jurassic Park.
I do love that, by the way.
You want to see what mine is?
You didn't say the magic word.
I love Nedry. He's legit. It's gonna be me in 20 years. I'm gonna be working off the coast of Costa Rica for a bearded man who spared no expense.
Shit, that reminds me. Costa Rica.
There's my profile pic.
Anthony's is great.
I don't even remember what it is. Oh, yeah. Good old
They're gonna learn a lot.
I saw a better one today, Anthony. It was a cat with Ron Swanson's hair and like sideburn thing.
What?
What?
Holy shit. The NFL sue for $100,000.
Huh?
Oh my god.
What?
Oh, okay. So you said Costa Rica, and that reminded me that we're playing Mexico tonight in soccer,
Okay.
and we just destroyed them 2-0.
Juice!
Nice.
Mexico! Lucas
That's
will like
awesome.
to know this information. I'll call him after this.
I invited them to the podcast.
He doesn't give a shit.
I feel sad every week that you invite me and I can't come. If that's any.
He's gonna feel most sad about the one where he was here by himself.
You actually did a podcast by yourself?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Hey,
I'm
it
so
had
sorry.
entertainment value.
And then a girl showed up and did it. So
What?
a girl showed up in it,
You're
And it had a
such
record
a
number.
liar.
and it had a record number of
Your
views.
cat's a male.
Not my cat. A
Who showed up
girl.
at the end?
Beth did.
Oh.
She was in it for a while.
Did you just have a conversation with her via podcast?
Pretty much.
That's nice.
It happens.
That's very good.
That's cute.
So I don't know. I don't really have much else for tonight.
Neither
Unless
do
anybody
I.
wants to bash
Well, I
on
have-
my phone anymore.
I have a funny thing that I'm gonna see if I can share with you guys. So I do processing work, and I have tons of ridiculous codes that I'm supposed to enter daily to make the system know that we want to order a certain letter or want to do this or that or the next thing, and really it's very boring. I'm actually making myself fall asleep talking about it right now. But the other day, I don't know who picks these codes. Let me see here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Try and do this
On his iPhone.
on my iPhone. Wait, up.
Okay.
Okay. Do you see in the top left hand or right hand corner the code that's by the magnifying glass?
Aped it?
That made my day, so I took a picture of it. I was gonna do something with it, but usually when I take a picture on this thing, I just forget that it's on my phone. Anyway.
That's pretty awesome.
And I work with a bunch of old women, so I couldn't tell any of them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the computer says ape tit.
Jesus Christ. Well,
Well, we
I know.
digress.
and as we slowly go, I'm probably going to quit and play some Amnesia Machine for Pigs. And scare myself
Yay.
shitless.
I'm not gonna play shit.
Oh, man has no computer.
Oh.
Matt's computer blew up.
It
Well,
blew
that's
up.
for this week.
It didn't blow up.